All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at another type of editing that can be done in um, Premiere, and that's multi-camera editing. So if sometimes when you're filming live events, you can set up a number of cameras in different locations, and then what multi-camera editing will allow you to do is to transition smoothly from one shot to another. What you want to do is make sure that all the cameras have the same resolution, say 1024 by 768, 1920 by 1080. You want to make sure that they're all set to high definition. They're all using the same frame rate, 24 frames per second or 29.97 frames per second. So the video footage matches. You can go into the camera, go into the settings and make sure all the footage matches. There can be different types of cameras as long as you use the same settings. So in some shoots, I've used my DSLR, a smartphone, and a webcam, a little GoPro, and I just made sure that all the films, all the footage use the same setting, and then the footage matched perfectly in Premiere. So let's look at how you set that up. So I'm going to launch the Premiere application. And I've given you some files to work with. The project is called multi-camera editing, and then in this case, it's a musician playing live at an event. And I filmed it with 3 cameras: my DSLR, a GoPro, and my video camera. So I'm going to start a new project, and I'm going to call it multicam. And you want to follow the best practices that we've already talked about for understanding how to do this. And I'm going to make sure I put it into the proper folder. I've set up all the site correctly and click OK. And now I'm going to import the footage now that I've set up my project. So Premiere is opening. I'm going to double click to import my media to start, and I'm going to select my video footage. It is from 3 different cameras. And I've included this in your project so that you can work with these. And then I know that they're all the same as far as the camera rate, 24 frames per second, and the dimensions, high definition 1080p, 1920 by 1080. I'm going to drag the clip onto the timeline, and here's the clip. I'm going to turn the sound off for now, and I want to drag all the clips onto the timeline, and I want to stack them on top of one another, like so. And the first part of this is synchronizing the footage. So the footage has to be synchronized for this to work at all. There's a bunch of different ways to edit and manipulate. I could manually synchronize it, but it's a lot of work. It's easier to have Adobe Premiere do the synchronization. So I bring all the clips in. It could be 2, could be, in this case, it's 3. I'm going to select all the clips on the timeline, right click, and I want to use the command synchronize. And there's a bunch of different ways to synchronize. So if you're using a code, or you know exactly where the clips should start and end, you can clip start and clip in, or a time code reference. In this case, we're going to use audio. And there's options as far as track 1 or track 2, or mix down. In this case, if you knew that the audio was on, say, track 1 or track 2, you could choose that. I'm going to choose the command mix down and click OK. And it's going to process those clips, and it's going to synchronize them. Sometimes I've noticed that it only synchronizes 1 or 2, and you have to go back and manually synchronize the third. Hopefully it'll synchronize all 3. And I'm going to come back after this process is done and show you what it looks like on the other side.